I started farming probably around 5 years ago, along with my dad. I always really wanted to work in agriculture and with crops, and this business has enabled me to do that. I first became interested in quinoa in 2005, and I really decided that I wanted to start growing it straight after that, trying it, thinking, could I produce this really nutritious product in Britain? And it turns out 10 years later that yes, we can. We've trialled lots of different varieties of quinoa for probably 5 or 6 years before we stumbled upon one that worked really well within the British climate. There were many times within the years that I was trialling this crop that I thought it might fail. For example, 2012 was a very difficult year and I wasn't sure whether we'd really be able to continue, but I think with every failure we've had several more successes that have been good enough to really drive us forward to continue really trying to produce British grown quinoa. My relationship with Pret came about essentially just through an email. They made an inquiry about my British grown quinoa, and from there it really built. This year's crop is pretty special for us because we're growing 10 times more quinoa than we grew last year, and that's a pretty big step up for us. This field alone will yield around 30 tonnes of quinoa. We don't use any insecticides at all. That's absolutely great for wildlife, and it really is teeming on our farm. Once it's been harvested, the quinoa goes through a really simple process in which we clean the crop so that we get a very pure grain. This crop, I'd say, is pretty darn sustainable. From field to fork, there's very, very few food miles. After harvesting, it's likely that this quinoa is going to be on the shelves in Pret probably within about a month. I've recently been experimenting with trying to grow buckwheat and teff on my farm. I've chosen these grains just because there seems to be a lot of interest in them in terms of their health benefits. So for me, following on from the quinoa, trying to produce other crops that are healthy really does make sense for me.